You ever get that sense that it's time for a change? Well, it is. It's time for a change. 3 reasons I am rebranding this channel. If we haven't met yet, I'm Reverend Valerie Love, also known as Kaisi. I'm an author, a speaker, and a retreat leader, and I teach on spirituality, magic, and the occult. So, why am I rebranding the channel? 3 reasons. Number 1, there is a confession I have to make. And the confession that I have to make is, I have not given you all of me. I don't know if any of you can relate, an issue with being seen. Now, I know that sounds crazy. I mean, I've been on YouTube for over a decade, millions of views. How can you have a being seen issue, Kaisi? You're on podcasts all over, you've written 25 books. How can you have an issue with being seen? Well, believe it or not, I do have an issue with being seen. And though it may not be to the same level that it was many years ago, realize that our issues, until we have fully eradicated them, will appear at different levels as we advance, and will call for resolution at that station. So if you are a person who can write 10 books, you didn't have a problem with being seen at 10 books. Yet you will have to resolve it again, and until it is eradicated at the level of writing 20 books. And you'll have to eradicate it again if you're going to go from YouTube to an even broader global audience. That's me. So the very first reason that I am choosing to rebrand, and I'm choosing to show up by sharing more of me and more of my life, I'll tell you what that will look like in a moment, is to face this very real issue that I have and that I've seen a lot of people have about being seen. Now, some of the most famous people in history, including Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, I don't know if Beyonce has it, perhaps she does, of being really shy off camera, somewhat introverted, and when you flip a switch when it's time to go on camera, you can bring it. Yet, there is that sense of, I would rather be to myself, I would rather be by myself, I'm most relaxed and most A-okay when it's just me. Yet, my soul, my destiny, my purpose on the planet has to do with being seen. Maybe you have the same kind of inner incongruence that, you're kind of happy by yourself with no one around. That's like my happiest. I'm just with myself in my journal and drinking a nice latte with oat milk, or just chilling, doing my own thing in my whole own world. Super happy, super pleased, super satisfied. Yet, you weren't born to just stay to yourself. You were born for a bigger purpose. You were born to be seen. Now, if you weren't born to be seen, this message might not resonate as much. I was born to be seen. I have Leo in North Node. I was made for the stage. I was made for TV, radio, video, and to be seen on the world stage. And so I've got to bring that into harmony and alignment by leaning as much as required into my own with self time, because that's always required, and sharing yourself with the world time, which is also required of my destiny. And I know it, because if I live a life where I'm just by myself somewhere, writing my next book in a hut in the woods, and I never make another video, I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be completely fulfilled. So what does this have to do with how I'm going to show up with rebranding the channel? This issue of being seen, right? Coming more out, being seen, Show yourself. You know, we have a lot of fear in that. That's why there's a lot of fear surrounding public speaking, because you must stand on the stage and be seen. It's like, everybody's looking at me. Well, if we weren't self-conscious, if we weren't insecure, if I wasn't insecure, yes, insecure, and people see me, they think I'm super confident. I am super confident, and I'm also insecure. I'm both. Isn't that a paradox? I'm actually both. And I embrace both of it, because sometimes I think you're supposed to be insecure. And sometimes you're supposed to feel a little, do I belong here? That's good. Just embrace all your feelings. Embrace everything that comes up. Just embrace it. Don't try to be not socially awkward, because then you become more socially awkward and people are like, hey, I don't know what's going on over there. And it'll just be like, well, you know, at the party. What if you were saying at the party and you were just standing next to someone and you said to them, well, you know, I'm kind of uncomfortable being here because I am kind of socially awkward, yet I'm going to be at this party anyway. Let me kick back a few drinks. That might help, some shots. You know, you and the person will chuckle because you just embrace it. You just took it head on. You embraced it. So I'm just embracing it. I'm just taking it head on, like, okay, open up more, show more of yourself. So what more of myself have I not shown you? I have not shown you one of my biggest loves. Now, I can't say that I haven't shown it to you, because you see me looking like this all the time, pretty much. I'm always dressed up. I always have outrageous earrings on. I'm always over accessorized because I like it. I'm over the top. I love style. I love fashion. I love beauty. I love makeup. Love it all. Love it all. By the way, I just want to let you know that this perfectly aligns with an invitation I received from YouTube. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. So the universe is giving me the signs that now is the time, and it's been telling me, step up, be that icon you came here to be. And I want to offer you the same thing. Step up, be that icon you came here to be. No need in being a shrinking violet, a wallflower. Get out on the floor and dance. Okay, you're insecure. Okay, you're uncomfortable. Okay, you wonder what will people think. I don't know. They're not thinking about you anyway. They're thinking about themselves, honestly speaking. So all of that I get to resolve at a new level and share with you the style, the beauty, the makeup, the shopping, the accessories, all the things I love, 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 love. Now, I have loved these things from when I was a teenager. I used to beg my mother. Well, we were in the Jehovah's Witness cult, and you know, they didn't allow a lot of different things in the Christian witches, in the Christian fundamental experience. Now I'm a Christian witch. In the Christian fundamentalist experience, they didn't allow a lot of things in the Christian fundamentalist experience. So it wasn't like I could just wear makeup, wear my hair any way I wanted to. I couldn't even get a perm until I was about 16. So I used to use this stuff called Vigorol. Remember that little relaxer? It kind of relaxed it so it didn't snap back right after your hair got wet, stank like the high heavens. I don't know what we were putting on our heads when we used the Vigorol, but any person who knows what I'm talking about, you remember the days of Vigorol. That was my first relaxer because my mama wouldn't let me get a perm. I used to ask Mom, please, can I wear lipstick? Please, please, please. No, no, no. I wanted to go to Duane Reade because I grew up in New York City and get myself, you know, the little corner store and get myself lipstick. No, no, no. Please, Mom, can I pluck a few strands out of my eyebrows? No, no, no. None of that's allowed. And that has been in me, part of me from as long as I can remember. It's how I roll. It's how I flow. It's not something I'm doing for a camera. When there are no cameras on me, I'm up primping in my upstairs. I'm doing my skincare in my own little self world. And I keep receiving the inspiration to share more because it does align with my message of holistic healing. What kind of skincare do you use? What kind of non-toxic products do you have in your home? What kind of extreme self-care do you engage in for your own soul's unfoldment? These align. So, number one reason I'm rebranding is to take this issue head on of being seen, which means showing aspects of myself that I have not always been comfortable with showing, yet are supernatural to me and have been with me forever. Before I started teaching about spirituality, I was deep into beauty and style. Before I ever started talking about being a witch and coming into my full-blown witch, I was looking at nail polish, perfumes. I was a total diva, and I always tell people at 80, 90, 100, I'ma still be walking around with my heels on and my lashes like, come on kids, let's do it. I'ma still be a diva, just like the beautiful Aretha Franklin, who went out with stilettos and her legs crossed in the coffin. I'm gonna be divalicious till the day I take my last breath. I'm never gonna let it go. So might as well share it. Number 2, there is a teaching, I'll say, online that says, niche down, there's riches in niches, you gotta niche down. What? Pick a niche, or niche, niche, pick a niche, and stay in there. Get a lane, own that lane, go a mile deep and an inch wide. I agree with that to an extent. I agree with it to the extent that when you're beginning, you do want to pick a niche, you do want to hone in, and you do want to own a sphere of intelligence. Then, as you broaden your reach, you can add on more things. You can not strictly hold to one niche. Now, if you only have 10 or 20 followers on social media, or you're struggling to get 50 views on a video, you want to niche down and just hammer one thing, on it, down, until you get traction. And once you get traction, then you'll get momentum. When you have momentum and you're growing and you're expanding and you're becoming more well known for what you do, not well known in that the ego needs this aggrandizement, well known in that people are flocking to your message because it solves real world problems and you're able to help people. As your influence grows and expands, then you can encompass more topics. It's just like Oprah. When Oprah began, it was the Oprah Winfrey Show every single day. First it was at 10 a.m. every single day, remember? Then it was at 4 p.m. every single day. And many of us were affixed to the TV when Oprah was on. And then she branched off and she got the Oprah Winfrey magazine, O Magazine. And then she branched even further and she got a whole network. And then she branched even further and she did events. So, and then she has Super Soul Sunday. So she has gone far beyond that original offering that she had that caused her to grab eyeballs from all over and really grow that brand. Now the Oprah brand is a household name and it is one of the biggest brands on the planet. You see the O and she owns a letter. Okay, so yes, niche down. And then once you see that you have traction in your niche and then you get momentum, you open to meeting more people, you connect with more people that are in your niche. Like in the niche of spirituality, I'm connecting with a lot of people in spirituality and I'm connected with a lot of people in the witchy community. And so as that grows, you can add more. You have a greater capacity to add more. Number 3, brand. This is closely associated with 1 and 2. Number 3 is brand and growing a personal brand and what that means. My brand at its core essence is about one word. The brand, Valerie Love. A long time ago, my spiritual mother, Reverend Dr. Yana Van Sant, told me, you're a brand. Valerie Love is a brand. She didn't say you're a brand. She said Valerie Love is a brand. And at that point, I didn't really understand what she was saying. And it took years for me to, many times our spiritual teachers tell us things, our forebears, our mentors tell us things that we don't really fully start to understand it until years later. Well, years later, I began to understand the power of the Valerie Love brand. And I was a little afraid of it because we are a little afraid, maybe somewhat a lot of afraid, of how big we can get. How successful can we get? Because that speaks to responsibility. Okay, now I get bigger, more is required of me. I can no longer sleep on the couch and just chill and watch Netflix as much as I want to because I'm required to show up to this event and speak, or show up to this podcast and teach, or show up to my classes that I teach and teach. I am no longer just kind of hanging out, doing whatever I feel like doing. Responsibility. To whom much has been given, much is required, which is much is asked. You've been given these great gifts from God. The universe wants to know, are you using them? How are you using them? Are you up-leveling how you bring your gifts to the world? Are you finding more creative ways to be more expansive in bringing your gifts to the world? So number 3 is about personal brand. So there is one word that describes the Valerie Love brand at its core, and that word is inspiration. 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 The number one thing that people tell me across the board, number one, from over 12, 13 years of being on YouTube and online, the number one thing people tell me is, wow, I just love your energy. That's what they say. That's what the feedback loop tells me, and that's what I know drives my life. My life is driven by inspiration. Now, some people's life is driven by lots of different things, right? We have lots of different drivers, and you want to tap into what really drives you, whatever that is. I know what my big driver is. If I'm inspired, I get up, I make the next video, I write the next books. I come up in my mind, I conjure the next retreat we're going on. It just pops, it flows, money flows, health, is on point. Jump up out of the bed and want to hit my yoga mat. When I'm inspired, oh baby, it's on. And when I'm not inspired, ooh, it's not cute. So that's why I do everything in my life to keep myself inspired. I have an inspiring home. I have an inspiring office. I take inspired travel. And so the new brand, or really not new brand, new way of the same brand expressing what is at the core of the brand, the core essence of the brand is inspiration. So what are you going to see on this new Valerie Love Kaisi channel? You are going to see inspiration, inspired travel, inspired style, inspired beauty, inspired skincare, self-care, inspired home, inspired office. Oh, I have so much to talk about with regard to inspiration. And of course, the same spirituality you always get from me. Now that is not going anywhere. You are always going to get personal and spiritual development from Reverend Valerie Love, aka Kaisi. Kaisi is always going to bring the spiritual lessons, the insights, the personal development, spiritual development, so that we may up-level from the inside out. So we're not taking away anything from this channel, we're adding to it, as per number 1 I talked about in this video. That's what you can expect from this channel going forward, until, of course, there's another expansion. And when there is, I'll tell you about it. Thank you for being with me on this journey. You know, I get tears in my eyes when I think of all the beautiful love from all the beautiful people like you that have been with me for years upon years upon years. This is a hell of a ride, and I'm ready to take it for decades more. This is my birthday month, and so I'm starting a brand new trip around the sun, and this one's gonna be spectacular. I love you. Well, peace from the newly expanded Valerie Love brand, all about inspiration, inspired living, inspiration for your life, the inspired life. Mwah. Peace.